my name is Tommy. I graduated this year in 2012. I'm going to Woodbury Forest in the fall, and I'm a post.
I'm Lillian. I graduated in 2011. I'm going to be a sophomore at Mercersburg Academy in Mercersburg, Pennsylvania next year in the fall, and I am post.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I graduated in 2011. I'm the first third-generation post to graduate from Powhatan, and I'm going to be a sophomore at Middlesex School in Boston, Massachusetts next year.
Hi, I'm Annika. I graduated in 2011. I'm a rail, and I'll be a sophomore at St. George's School in Newport, Rhode Island in the fall. My favorite part about Powhatan was definitely the people here, like my teachers, coaches, and classmates.
Like Coach Nelson, who showed all of us lacrosse, something we might not have learned if we had been at any other school. She's a role model on and off the field.
I liked how at Powhatan you could relate to everyone and no one was on a pedestal above you.
I liked how we learned to communicate, which isn't necessarily in the curriculum, but it's a very important piece. And also our communication with adults, which I think is very important. And it helped me at Mercersburg and in the real world.
I really feel like Powhatan has actually prepared me so well for Middlesex with the amount of reading we do. Although we do write more at high school, but that's just because high school, as opposed to 8th grade, I feel like it's really prepared me very well.
Me too. I mean, we definitely do a lot of writing at school and analyzing our books, but Powhatan definitely gave us the base to be able to do that on a higher level than we would have without.
We especially analyzed a lot in 8th grade with Mrs. Hobbs and Mrs. Robb, I remember, thinking it was so bad, and then going to boarding school, and it was.
I really enjoyed the survival trip in 6th grade.
Yeah, it was so much fun, and it tied back into what we were doing in the classroom when we were reading Hatchet.
We had to jump off trees.
And hike down the Shenandoah River.
We learned how to make fires, and
we ate really bad fish.
And camp together in tents.
Told ghost stories with mating ferrets.
I wish I was.
8th grade Chesapeake Bay trip.
Where we got to go kayaking, marsh mucking, sailing.
Dissecting fish. We got to go to the island of, what was the island called?
Port Isabel.
Port Isabel. And we got to see how people live their lives on such a remote island.
We all stayed in one small house, so it was definitely a bonding experience for the beginning of our 8th grade year.
We all smelled really bad.
I credit Powhatan for making math one of my favorite subjects in high school.
Ms. Serbaugh and Mr. Holloway definitely provided me with a strong foundation in math, and they allowed me to get an A+ in Algebra 2 this year.
Me too. A lot of the people in my class were really good at math, but just didn't really know how to take tests. But thanks to Mr. Holloway and Ms. Sermaugh's strategies, I really got a much better grade.
How could we not succeed with Mr. Holloway being the 2011 math teacher, middle school math teacher of the year?
I liked Miss Serbaugh because if someone didn't understand something, she'd go through it all over again to make sure that everyone got it and it made sense.
So how did you guys do in math this year?
I got an A+.
I got an A+.
A+.
One of the best parts about math program at Powhatan is how many hands-on projects we do, like the pop-up books that the 8th graders do in their geometry class, like these, where Mr. Holloway assigns kids a 1-month period to make books that come alive, like this.
And this.
And this.
My favorite part of math was the competition because you got to see who knew the most about the topic and you could compete and see who could get it done the fastest and who really knew their stuff.
Not only was Ms. Serbaugh my math teacher, she was also one of my coaches for track and field.
Boarding school was a pretty big adjustment and a lot of stress, but with Powhatan's preparation with their English program, it took off a lot of stress and made a nice cushion to fall back on.
Yeah, here I learned how to adjust my English style and my history style depending on the situation, like more narrative for English and more serious for history.
Yeah, and definitely all the vocabulary that we took in here, like through 6th, 7th, and 8th grade especially.
Like the preposition song.
How does that go?
About a moment comes a girl, long about your round, that before, behind, below, beside, between, right up,
divided, to near, upon, over, through, to under, up and with are all the prepositions to remember.